Hello, fantasy footballers. This is Mark Hosteller and Evan Baker coming to you live from the Mermaid Pool Spa and Patio booth here, doing the episode 6 of the Mermaid Fantasy Football Podcast. Welcome, Evan.
Feels like episode 60.
Does it feel like episode 60?
I'm feeling okay right now. I'm feeling a little better than I was last week.
It's like Evan when he doesn't eat and he gets a little hangry. Evan when he wins, he's in a much better mood. He's enjoying sports again. It's nice to see happy sports Evan back on the mic tonight.
It's definitely good to be back.
It's a long season, so don't get your hopes up.
Long season. So I feel like the 05 Colts. The year before they won the Super Bowl.
They lost that year?
I think that was the year Nick Harper got his knee stabbed by his wife. So they scored a ton of points, but choke in the end. So that's where I'm at right now.
So do you blame Mike Vanderjagt more or Nick Harper's wife?
Nick Harper's wife.
For stabbing him in the leg?
Roethlisberger never should have caught him or tackled him. Nick Harper. It's on Nick Harper. He's dead to me. Number 25.
Are they still married? Do you think that still comes up? You cost me a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I don't know. Was he on the team next year when they went to the Super Bowl, or a couple years later when they went to the Super Bowl?
No, I think the defense was just Bob Sanders and Bryce. The two of them by themselves.
Yeah, because I remember Bob Sanders wasn't there for 14 of the 16 regular season games. Came back for the playoffs. Did they shut down Larry Johnson?
Did they? Did they thaw him out for that playoff series? Like, did they?
I think they
freeze him again.
He's a mess. I don't even know what he's up to now, but
he owns a KFC down in Indy.
That's not true.
How do you know?
Just playing the odds.
Maybe I just saw a guy who looked like Bob Sanders working at a KFC.
That's probably more likely.
Yeah. If you're nearby a KFC, stop in and say hello to Bob Sanders for us.
Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Be careful.
Thanks to this week's sponsor.
This week's sponsor is KFC. Thanks, KFC. We're actually eating chicken right now.
Let's go get a $5 lunch so we can make sure that we stay happy and not hangry.
Not hangry?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not hangry. So, technically we don't have any sponsors yet. So, if you are listening out there and you love this podcast and you own a business or work for a business that has money to blow, we do sell out. So, we'll be syndicated for anybody.
That's right.
Let's just jump right in. We've got a couple segments for us this week. We got 3 segments this week for you. And we're going to start out with kind of last week's, instead of going back to the games, we're going to do last week's studs and duds. But not players, but more managers. Who made a Studley call, who made a Dudley call.
Okay, let's, where you want to start with the studs or you want to start with the duds?
Well, so we've got 5 here. I'll let you pick. What do you want? You want a stud or a dud?
How about we start with... What was that? Let's go with the duds. The Homer Simpson duds of the week.
Do you have dud of the week?
The dud of the week, well, because it allowed me to get the victory, I'm giving Kyle the dud of the week.
Yeah, I'll give Kyle the dud of the week.
Or this week. Bilal Powell against the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars. Gave up a 75-yard touchdown.
190 total yards from scrimmage.
That's got to be the Dudleyest play of the week.
How do you not play Bilal Powell over Leonard Fournette or Ty Montgomery?
Leonard Fournette, I'm okay with not playing. Ty Montgomery against the Bears on a Thursday night, I don't like that.
No Matt.
Or even, I would probably have considered playing him over Diggs in the flex.
Ooh.
Which
there's no Matt Forte. Powell was just raring to break out. I saw it coming from a mile away. How do you not play him?
I agree, and I was going to send him a text, and then I saw him, or I saw that he was playing me, and I was like, let's just keep it zipped up for the week. And, fortuitous enough that Ty Montgomery, Julio Jones, Marcus Mariota all got hurt. That's fantasy defense right there.
We'll get into injuries later. Side note, Kyle changed his team name to Chuckles Pagano.
I see that.
Do you like that?
I see that. That makes sense considering that Kyle being the dud of the week as far as the coaches go, and Chuck Pagano being the dud of the NFL as far as
Chuck
coaches
Pagano,
go.
he is underrated. They need to lock him down and sign him to a long-term deal.
If they sign him to a long-term deal, they're basically signing me to a long-term deal of not liking the Colts.
Would you sell out on the Colts to go to and realign with a different franchise?
I'd have to pick some. I'd have to root for Larry Fitzgerald until the bitter end.
I hear the Patriots win a lot.
No thanks.
Not at all? Not a chance.
I'm good.
What do they send you season tickets?
And
airfare.
The only way they'd have to throw in Kenny Chesney concert tickets.
Oh, yuck. You got screwed up with Kenny Chesney.
He is not the only. Kyle's not the only one who's changed his team name.
Yeah, we got a couple team name changes.
We've got a couple. Let's look over some other duds of the week. Who else do you have?
Okay, another dud of the week I have is Lewis Brown, who still has the team name of Horse. All year, he's been riding Cam Newton. And in the 1 week, Cam Newton plays the worst defense in the league. And they're going to throw it. He benches him for Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, who's playing on the road against
In a
the
dome.
defending Super Bowl runner-up, who has a good defense.
Has decent
Atlanta
defense.
has a solid defense.
But everybody knows. I mean, I'm not a coach, but I know what their game plan is. They're going to run the ball.
They're going to give LaShawn McCoy the rock 25 times and hope for the best.
So Cam went for 40-some points on his bench. I mean, he won.
He won.
So I mean,
But it's like that almost was
30 points he left on his bench.
Yeah.
That's your boy Blue.
Playing against.
So here's what's going to happen. He's going to play him next week. And here's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's
3
a
interceptions,
dud.
3 fumbles, and.
They're at Detroit, yeah. Have fun with that.
There's going to be a quarterback controversy in Carolina for Derek Anderson.
So Cam Newton's at Detroit. That's going to be a tough defense to play against. Tyrod Taylor's at Cincinnati. Not the best road matchup for him.
Right.
Lewis has got some tough decisions coming up. But that's one of my duds for the week.
I would agree with that. But I also think his opponent this week, Jordan, who put up 66 points for the second week in a row, also gets a coaching dud of the week.
He does.
And it really wasn't just one player, and I'm not saying he should have put Carson Palmer over Matt Ryan, because that's kind of ridiculous, but he had 6 players on his bench go for double figures. 2 in the game go for double figures.
Just so you know, if he would have played his bench, his backup quarterback, and then the rest of his guys on the bench, his bench scored 98 points and his starters scored 66 points. Ouch. That's a big ouch.
That's a big ouch.
We'll give you a pass on that because it was your whole team there, Jordan.
Yeah, and you just had a kid. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, he did have a kid. Well, he didn't have a kid.
Well, Jessica did all the work.
Yeah, he just was there to hold her hand.
Exactly. And so, congratulations to that. We obviously clearly see that you're busy. You barely have time to set your fantasy football lineup, and maybe it's having an impact, your absenteeism as a coach is having an impact on your team morale, maybe. And maybe you just need to spend a little bit more time with them, let them know you still care about them, and maybe they'll start performing again.
Maybe he's listening to this podcast, that's where he's getting a lot of his information for. So, Jordan, if you're listening, it sounds like you really need a running back, and I have a great one. His name's Chris Carson. Send me a trade offer, and I won't refuse it. No offer refused for him.
Dalvin Cook's having a great year, too.
Yep, Dalvin Cook. So
would
Jordan,
you be willing to part with him?
Yeah, Jordan, if you're looking to upgrade some of your running backs, I'll be happy to send one of those 2 guys over to you. And I kind of think of it as like a baby shower gift, a belated baby shower gift.
Man, the gift that keeps on giving. Dalvin Cook.
Do we know? Is it a football name? Is it a boy, girl?
It's a girl. Her name is Isla.
Beautiful.
All
right, let's jumping right into let's do a stud. You want to give me one of your studs of the week?
Well,
are there any studs of the week?
Gosh, oh no. Where do you go? What do you have down?
I had 2 studs down. I had Jeff and I had Evan.
Ooh, Jeff for sure.
I gave Jeff a stud.
He benched beast mode.
Yes.
That was ballsy. But, yeah, the same thing. Oh, gosh. Scott should have done. in favor of Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Jeff was playing Scott, who put up a measly 55 points. Double nickel. That's a good speed limit, not a good fantasy score.
Not a good fantasy score. So Scott changed his team name. Jameis Crab Leg Bootleg.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Who stole the crab legs?
Who, what?
Jameis Winston stole crab legs in college.
Oh, that's a...
Or no, he didn't steal them.
That's a throwback
He thought he
joke.
paid for them, and he just walked out of the store and then realized after they caught him that he actually didn't pay for them.
Naturally, he thought he paid for them, even though he gave them $0.
Is that an actual play that they run, the Jameis Crab Leg Bootleg?
Yeah, I don't know. As long as the play ends with Mike Evans scoring a touchdown, that's all I care about.
Jameis, if you're listening, it wasn't me who named this team that. That was Scott Murr who named his team name that. So
That's right. You can find him on 725 West. Right
wow. Way to sell him out there.
I'll also give you a cell phone number if you contact me directly.
Throw him directly into that bus there, huh? So that was so Jeff played Duke Johnson. He played a Brown over Marshawn Lynch.
Over beast mode. And fortunately, Duke Johnson had a touchdown and like 40 yards receiving. And
that's ballsy.
because he had like 13 yards rushing.
That's a studly move right there. That's going for it all.
Keenan Allen showing out and balling out a little bit. 138 yards. Michael Thomas finally putting together a touchdown. That was a garbage time touchdown, but a touchdown nonetheless. As Mark can attest to, those count just the same.
They count just the same, sometimes a little bit sweeter.
Russell Wilson's garbage time touchdown sealed the victory for me on Sunday night. I still had Kareem Hunt, the number one running back, on Monday night.
Well, that was why I kind of threw in. I needed one more stud. It was hard to find some studs this week who made some bold moves, but I congratulated you for sticking with Russell Wilson. You had, a trio of quarterbacks. Luckily, any one of them that you would have picked would have given you the win.
Yeah.
Yep. So it didn't really matter, but
you stuck 23 points.
You stuck with your man. You stuck with your men that were stuck in this year. Hopefully you keep sticking by them.
I think honorable mention goes to Blair. For stud the quarterback. He's not really... His team goes the way Tom Brady goes.
Yeah.
And if Tom Brady has a good game, 307 yards and 2 touchdowns, then Blair's going to be somebody to reckon with.
Yeah.
This week, though...
Played Chris Hogan,
who had a touchdown.
He likes to double dip.
Travis Kelce's a stud. Yep. He's one of the 2 top tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel Elliott had 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. So... Blair is a solid team right now.
If you would have played Martavis Bryant over Chris Hogan, like I would have guessed he probably would have, they would have tied. He still would have won. He had more bench points.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers went for 35 on his bench. So.
Yeah. Who's to argue about him starting Phillip Rivers over Tom Brady?
Yeah. So Adam, if you're looking to improve your team, you're 1-3. I'm listening to all offers for AJ Green or Odell Beckham.
Yuck.
I don't want really Odell Beckham. I'd rather have AJ Green, but whatever.
Yuck.
I'm willing to negotiate.
I'm not willing to trade you anymore, Adam. Sorry.
He already took care of you for 1 year enough.
Yeah. So the last dud of the week, I gave to myself.
It's a little harsh for the dud of the week.
Yeah, I got a win, but I gave myself a dud because I went into the game. I played 3 running backs, 6 healthy legs, and came out with only 3 good legs at the end of it.
I mean, you almost doubled your opponent's score.
Yeah, I didn't really have much of an opponent this week. So.
I mean, Nate's got to be mentioned as a dud of the week, but at the same time, he's been dealt kind of a crappy hand. He essentially lost his first 3 draft picks because Amari Cooper hasn't done jack.
Yeah.
DeMarco Murray didn't do jack this week.
Oh, and Amari Cooper lost his quarterback now for 2 to 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. Good luck trading Amari.
Yeah, I'll give you you let me kick you in the nuts, and I'll take Amari Cooper off your hands.
Ugh. Sounds like a bad deal, Nate. Don't do it. Unless you like getting kicked in the nuts. All right, so those were our studs and duds for the week from some of our managers, from our coaches standpoint. So let's jump into this week. We're at Tuesday night here, and obviously the Wednesday morning is a high traffic time because tonight, middle of the night at 4:30 for everybody's knowledge, are waiver wire runs, and this week looks to have some hot action going on in the middle of the night.
That's not the beginning of the night. That's the beginning of, or that's not the middle of the night. That's the beginning of your day.
Well,
I mean, you get up at 4:30, you check the waivers, you do what you need to do, and
early bird gets the worm. Hey, I will make a note that I did not set my alarm like another manager did in the league to wake up at 4:30.
Whoa. Which manager did that?
I mean, week one's waiver wire, when it ran, you can look back and see who got up at 4:36 in the morning
Yikes.
to pick up waivers, to pick up free agents to steal.
He's leading the division right now.
You know what? So the first thing everybody said was, oh, he stole your guys. You know what? If you're going to get up at 4:30 in the morning to get on the waiver wire, more power to you. I get up early, but I'm not getting up that early. So, hey, if you want the advantage, you gotta get up. But this week, out of the 10 teams, how many people use their get a waiver spot?
Oh,
out of the 10 teams,
there's this week has an unusually high amount of viable fantasy options.
I would agree.
And the only reason to not use it would be if you have...
Unless you're stacked and you just don't need anything.
Whose team has that?
So
whose team doesn't have a glaring weakness?
This is my bold prediction. This is my bold prediction. I say 8 out of the 10 teams claim a waiver. Not just... I think everybody's going to put in a waiver.
Yeah.
But I think 8 out of the 10 teams claim a waiver. But my bold prediction is that next week, Blair Lynch will be at the top of the waiver order. Because I can see him putting one waiver in, and that waiver getting picked up before him, and him just not putting anything else in, just so he can get to that number one spot.
I mean, that would be something.
I think eight teams claim waivers.
I think this week, if you don't claim one, I've got 2 waiver claims in, and they are going to, I think, probably go before me.
I have no waiver claims in right now, and I'll prove it. You can look at my team right now.
Don't worry. I know. There's plenty of time to change.
2 pending moves, and they're both trade offers to me. No waivers.
Who are those for?
I'm not divulging my. I've got ongoing talks right now.
Oh, okay.
So 8 out of I think this is going to be a hot week in the waiver wire.
Agreed.
So to help some people out, maybe who haven't been, doing their research or have been living under a rock for the last couple days, let's go through the top 3 hottest free agents that are going to come off the waiver wire.
Okay.
So who would your number 1 waiver wire free agent be?
I think it's got to be Latavius Murray from Minnesota.
I would have said Mike Vick.
Mike Vick, yeah. Or
Jordan, if you're listening, Mike Vick's hot right now. Put a waiver claim in.
This is a heavy week for a lot of running backs got injured last week.
A lot of running backs did get injured, most of them being on my team.
You are running the fantasy football infirmary right now, and
I'm trying to give Nate a run on his money on IR players.
I mean, yikes!
Yikes is right.
Two complete ends of the spectrum, though. You're 3-1. He's 0-4.
Yeah,
I may not win a game.
I may not win a game the rest of the year. I would agree. Latavius Murray is probably number 1 in a lot of people's lists right now. I mean, out of everybody, he's probably going to get the most work, most number of carries out of any free agent waiver wire. But they're saying that there's some names out there: Ryan Matthews, D'Angelo Williams. Some names out there that they're talking about maybe signing, and could throw a little monkey wrench in there. Jerick McKinnon's still on the team too.
Who cares?
But they're all hurt though. So Latavius Murray, number 1. He's probably the top free agent right now.
I mean, they just paid him over the offseason.
They did just pay him.
So they've got to give him some.
Do you think when he saw that happen, he was like, "Damn, I got to earn my contract now"?
Yeah, exactly. He would probably riding high in hog heaven, and sitting on the bench. He has Jim Sorgi in it. And
I think I saw a picture, and he's like over there eating like Slim Jims, and I don't know. All right. Number 2.
Also, Slim Jim. We're looking for sponsors.
I'll take Slim Jims while we do this all day long.
Since we don't have any more Johnsonville.
Yeah. Too bad we couldn't be sponsored by sausage, huh?
Yeah.
So number 2, I had the number 2 person on the waiver wire was Doug Flutie. Do you agree with that?
Doug Flutie, he's spry, but he was looking extra tan, in that commercial he was in.
No, he did, wasn't he?
So that potentially could very well be a solid pickup for somebody.
I wrote Doug Flutie down. It was supposed to be Deshaun Watson. My bad. I had
Pretty
Deshaun
close.
Watson as number 2.
Deshaun Watson, I think a lot of people will be... Is it worth picking him up to try and scramble to block those two teams that need...
There are 2 teams that need a quarterback this week.
Right now. Is it worth using a waiver claim to try and block one of them?
So I'm at number 2, and I really need a running back. But if I took him, do you think I could trade? Do you think he has any kind of trade value to those 2 teams? Oh,
You're
that
not
would be
playing against either one of them.
So
you
get
Who are you playing this week?
Kyle. He doesn't need him.
He doesn't need a quarterback.
So if I took Deshaun Watson's playing at home against Kansas City.
That's a tough matchup.
Then you got Jared Goff home against Seattle. Ugh. Blake Bortles at Pittsburgh.
Ugh.
Road Blake Bortles doesn't offend Blake Bortles.
No.
Andy Dalton at home against Buffalo.
Unless Blake Bortles is playing at home or on the road in London, then he's good.
He's in Pittsburgh. He's gonna suck.
He's gonna suck.
Andy Dalton home against Buffalo. They just tore up Matt Ryan. Case Keenum at Chicago. That could be your best.
And he might not even play.
He may not.
Bradford.
Maybe Bradford back. Jacoby Brissett home against San Francisco. San Francisco doesn't have that bad a defense. They've been holding people down, but
is Carson Palmer good? Are
No.
the Cardinals good?
No.
I don't know. That may be.
I mean, those are your options. Then you got Joe Flacco and Jay Cutler down there at the bottom. Joe Flacco and Jay Cutler are below Mike Glennon and Sam Bradford, and Bradford only played 1 game.
Now, here's the other question. There's another rookie out there that's making his first start this
Trubisky.
week. Mitch Trubisky.
Are you going to play Mitch Trubisky? Who do they get? At Minnesota?
On Monday night?
Home against Minnesota on Monday night? This would not be the week you want to try to play quarterback roulette.
No. This is a rough week.
So you think Deshaun Watson hasn't even... I'm not. No.
I don't know. But if you are listening to teams that need quarterbacks, I have 3 quarterbacks that all scored at least 28 points this week.
Bum.
All of them.
Bums.
All of them. I mean, 2 of them went for 40 last week.
Oh, what did you do for me tomorrow? Not last week.
Hopefully you go back to 40.
Just so everybody knows, past points do not help you in future games.
This feels like Eli against the Chargers at home. Feels like that game where he just throws for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns to Odell Beckham.
400 yards?
I'm not bold predicting that, but it feels like that's...
I think I just choked on my Slim Jim.
That feels like it.
Is that your bold prediction of the week? 400 yards?
No.
You want to lock that one in?
No.
Okay.
So, who do you have for your third?
My third one, I had a 3-way tie. Eddie Lacy, Tyler Croft, and Benjarvis Green Ellis.
Benjarvis Green Ellis, the law firm.
Law firm. Oh, is he not playing anymore?
I think he's done.
I'll just scratch him off. Okay.
What are your thoughts on, purely for name purposes, Geronimo Allison?
Oh, I like Geronimo.
You just push somebody out of a plane.
I feel like I want to hear Aaron Rodgers. You know how when he throws those big long touchdown, he goes running down the field with his arm in the air and he's like yelling, Geronimo! Like that would be the. I want to see that. That'd be a good commercial for
That
him.
would be a good commercial.
Geronimo, start catching some balls so you can get in a commercial. Maybe we can reach out to Geronimo and see if he'll be a guest on the podcast next week.
He could be potentially our first guest on the podcast, since we still haven't gotten any takers who want to do a phone interview.
Jeff wants to. He couldn't do it tonight. He said next week. What are the chances we get an actual NFL player to guest on the podcast?
I would say slim to none.
You work on that for me.
I'll reach out to all my contacts.
Okay, I'll reach out to mine. You reach out to yours.
I'm just texting Andrew Luck right now as we speak.
So Tyler Croft and Eddie Lacy, I put them down. So at number 3, you're starting to. There's a lot of people out there.
Yep.
Tight ends are is a wasteland of zombies out there. I mean, you get 5 points from a guy 1 week, and they don't touch the ball for 2 weeks. So Tyler Croft had a big week. Who's the Denver? AJ Derby had a big week. Who the hell is AJ Derby? He had a great one catch. Did you see that catch though? He had a one-handed catch for a touchdown.
Oh,
where he caught it and was running.
Yeah, I don't know if is that the thing now to do one-handed catches just because
I don't think he was doing it to like show off, but I mean,
but there are players. Would you agree that there are players who try to pull that stunt?
Yeah,
and it doesn't work, and then they just look like idiots.
Yeah, he didn't look like an idiot. He was pretty good. So I had him because I think tight ends are a necessity. I mean, people are looking for tight ends. Then Eddie Lacy. I mean, I threw a dart at a Seattle running back. I mean, they got 4 of them now. I guess natural selection occurred, and Chris Carson was not their running back of the future. So
yeah,
poor guy.
I don't know. I don't really want anything to do with the Seattle. I mean, there's so much going on. McKissick had 2 touchdowns.
He looked good.
Thomas Rawls was a healthy scratch last week, and
Eddie Lacy rumbled literally for 52 yards.
Oh my gosh, that sounds right. Rumbling.
Do you got anybody else on the list you want to throw out there?
Well, I was thinking the backup running back for Green Bay.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be an offense where.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be an offense where, whoever you plug in is going to have success and they're going to be okay. And
Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
They like him.
Yeah.
If Ty Montgomery doesn't play, he's going to get a lot of looks.
Yep. And so if Aaron Jones goes, if Ty Montgomery doesn't go, Aaron Jones is going to be a solid play for somebody.
Someone's picking him up.
At the very least.
Where's Kyle? Where's Kyle's waiver order?
Kyle? Can you hear me now?
Oh, Kyle's number 10.
Ooh.
Don't worry, he's got Bilal Powell.
Oh, ouch. Too soon.
Too soon? All right, so those are the hot waiver wire action that we predict occurring this week. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be an interesting... I'm setting my alarm. I mean, this is a week you got to get up. What time do you want to set your alarm for?
4:31.
You want me to call you at 4:31 to make sure you're awake?
Just make sure I'm up, and I'll be good.
Okay. Who do you think is going to be the first one? Do you think someone's going to beat me this week getting to the free agency?
I don't know. It's tough. See, I do have a son who is over 2 years old and maybe only slept through the night a handful of times.
Well, make sure you get him down early so he wakes up around 4:30 in the morning.
No, he wakes up around 1. And then I just need him to re-wake up again around 4:30. I'll be good. And then I can come back in and say, I didn't set my alarm. My son woke me up. A built-in excuse, so I don't have to hear about it. So, but I will go through them, make my choices, and then I'll text everybody to make sure they're all up.
Okay. You make sure everybody else is awake. It'll be interesting to see if anybody gets up this week. It's going to be a busy week on the waiver wire.
It's going to be lots of claims are going in. What is our waiver order? Give us the rundown here.
First spot is Jordan Green. Jordan Green, you have your choice out of all the lovely free agents on the market right now. Or you can wait and see if there's another week that you want. So
why would he wait?
Let's look at his team. Let's look at
his team is in shambles right now.
The hard part is his team's not really in shambles.
They're a dumpster fire.
Carson Palmer, and so he's got Matt Ryan on a bye this week. That hurts him because now he's playing Carson Palmer.
And Devonta Freeman.
And Emmanuel Sanders, and Telvin Coleman, and Alvin Kamara, and Mark Ingram.
See, that's the perfect week for one of those fill-in, like Ty Montgomery's backup if he doesn't play.
So he's got Mike Wallace, Zay Jones, Kenny Stills, and Donta Foreman on the. He's picking someone up.
He's got to pick someone up.
All right, so he's gonna.
If he doesn't, can we just stick a fork in Jordan?
So he's got Kyle Rudolph on his team. So he's got a Viking already. Does he have a Seahawk on the team?
No, you and I have all of them.
Oh, that's right. Interesting. Very interesting. So Jordan's number 1. I'm number 2. I'm not using my waiver claim. Blair's number 3. I can see Blair taking Deshaun Watson to piss someone off.
I don't think he's got it in him.
I think you underestimate the slyness because he knows he's going to be a hot commodity. Blair's all about having people that are value. He's going to be a value,
right? And who does Blair play this week? Let's just look that up real quick. And let's see, week 5, Blair is playing Jordan. Who?
Good luck.
Don't know.
All right, so Blair's number 3, Adam's 4, Scott's 5, you're 6, Jeff's 7, Nate's 8, Lewis is 9, and Kyle's 10. I think this week's going to be a lot of pickups.
I saw Scott's waiver claims, and there are like 18 of them.
18.
He claims it was for another league, but whatever.
Did you try to claim crab legs? I could go for crab legs right now.
I almost want to do an update podcast tomorrow after the waiver wire runs, just because I think there's going to be a lot of action.
Do you want to do a waiver wire recap podcast?
You know what we ought to do? We need to do a Sunday night podcast and a Tuesday night podcast. We can do our instant reactions from the day, from the sports world.
Sunday night could be inebriated podcast, and Tuesday night could be sober podcast.
Or just pre-inebriated, depending on how you look at it.
Okay. I'm in.
Okay.
If anybody else wants to be in, you know what? We'll just meet at the bar. Do you think do you think the bar, like B-Dubs, would let us bring our computer and microphones in?
Sure, why wouldn't
How dumb would we look?
I mean, it's a desktop, so that'd be slick.
How fast do we get kicked out?
I don't know if we get kicked out as much as we leave because we're being made fun of so much.
You always hear on the radio, like, DJs are like, oh, we're going to be live from so-and-so bar, and they always sound like they're having so much fun, but I guess kind of need to be well known on the radio.
Yeah.
Two guys with microphones.
Maybe we need a little more, a little more notoriety before we start diving into the what are those called? Remote podcasts.
Remote podcasts. No, I think we should get to a remote location. Let's start scouting some locations and see what we can dig up. Spice the podcast up a little bit.
How about a Colts home football game?
Oh, are we allowed to take microphones in there?
We leave them in the car.
Well, how are we going to do
we
the podcast?
do it in the parking lot.
Do a tailgating
podcast.
And then at halftime, we could come out and do a game recap once the Colts are down by so much.
Also, that we could just leave because that game would probably be over, whatever it is.
Luck's coming back. He's practicing this week.
Allegedly. I'll believe it when I see it.
I saw him today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw a video of him practicing. Yep. This is from last year, but he was practicing. So let's get to the last segment, and that is going through some previewing next week's games. We kind of talked a little bit about who Blair is playing, but let's talk about some of the other games. And I know some of the teams haven't quite put in all of their players yet, so we don't know exactly who's playing. It's kind of hard to get lines. Like right now, Kyle says he's only playing 7 guys. Kyle, if you're only going to play 7 guys, I'll greatly appreciate it, but my guess is you're probably going to play the extra 2 guys.
Let's dive a little into that matchup there. The old Nuns in a Hospital.
Nuns in a Hospital.
Chuckles Pagano.
Yep, Chuckles Pagano, Nuns in a Hospital.
I mean,
yikes. Yikes is right.
There's a lot going on there.
My team.
Kyle's got some good matchups.
Kyle has some really good matchups.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm rooting for you to win for divisional standing purposes, although I now hold the tiebreaker over Kyle. I'm just saying.
I'm playing Alex Collins this week. How do you feel about that?
That is only going to be there until you get your waiver claim tomorrow. So,
no, I think I'm playing Alex Collins this week. I have no other running backs on my team that have 2 knees.
Kyle's got.
He's going to play T.Y. Hilton home against San Francisco.
And Bilal Powell.
Oh, I'm getting blown out this week. This week is the week that Kyle goes for 130, 140, and I'm going to put up like 70. Aaron Rodgers, just take this week off. Have this be your dud week, please.
Just get your bye week out of the way and move on.
Don't worry. You like Aaron Rodgers' bye week.
I do love Aaron Rodgers' bye week.
And you play me that week.
Is that next week?
Week 8.
Oh, too far away. I need Andrew Luck to not be back yet.
He's not going to be on my team.
Yeah.
He's getting traded soon.
Let's, so let's look at Blair and Jordan.
Blair and Jordan. The GOAT versus... I don't get the North Korea, best Korea.
I don't either. I mean...
We need some clarification on that, Jordan.
Yeah.
Is there best Korea?
Is there... Yeah. I would say the North Korea would not be the right one.
Just looking at the quarterbacks, Carson Palmer versus Tom Brady, I think that tells you how this week's going to go.
Well, and we're going to know a lot because Tom Brady plays on Thursday. So where does Jordan need to be after Thursday? Thursday night, Blair has Tom Brady, Chris Hogan.
If he plays Chris Hogan.
He's going to play Chris Hogan.
Martavis Bryant's playing at home. Home Bryant is a lot better than road Bryant.
Yeah, against Jacksonville too. So, I don't know. Why is Blair still have Kevin White on his IR? Is he worth an IR slot?
I mean, he doesn't have anybody else on his team that's IR.
Yeah, I guess.
So Jordan is picking someone up off the waivers, playing his flex most likely, because he has a guy on the bye in his flex spot. So Jordan's playing someone off the waiver this week, which I mean that isn't a good sign of your depth and strength. So
he's got to pick up a defense too, because he has his defense on by.
Oh, the number one defense in the league is on the waivers this week.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The Detroit Fighting Lions.
There you go, Jordan.
Look it up.
Hey, somebody in this podcast needs a defense for this week.
I don't need a defense. Do you need a defense?
I have the Falcons.
Oh, no. It's like if you just play them on their bye, it's like you're playing them in real life anyway.
Streaming
defense. So, okay.
Realistically,
Jordan.
For Jordan to have a chance this week, after Thursday night, where does Blair need to be? He needs to be at 40 points or less.
I think you can take Tom Brady out of this matchup and he still wins.
Yeah, I do too. But, I mean, realistically, if he finishes with a dud game...
He needs Tom Brady to go for like 20 points, Hogan not catch a touchdown, but he needs Gillislee. He has Gillislee.
Yeah.
He needs Gillislee to do like week 1, 3 touchdowns, something like that. Like
he needs
steal a bunch of touchdowns.
A lot of Gronk down to the 1 and Gillislee punch it in. Just goal line vultures. That's all
at Tampa Bay. I don't know. I don't know.
Thursday night games are usually not high scoring.
Nope. Thursday night games are ground and pound. So maybe he gets off to a good start and he catches some fire with his waiver wire pickups and Jordy Nelson and who knows. I don't know. I'll give you a shot, Jordan, but not a big shot.
Yeah, not. That'd be. He would be like plus 600 to win.
Not betting that.
Wait,
okay. Let's go to the next game. Next game is Jameis Crableg Bootleg versus Horse. And I will give Scott a lot of credit this week. Scott has, he's 2-2 now. He's lost a couple games. Team taking a beating. Changed his team name. It means he's involved. But he also put a picture up.
I can't really tell what the picture
is. Jameis holding crab legs.
Oh, that's good.
He took time to find the picture. I'm telling you, Scott's going to shock the world this year. He's got a lot of fantasy karma going in his favor.
He's already showing a lot more effort than he did all of the last 2 or 3 seasons combined.
Yep.
So
this week he's playing Jameis Winston and Doug Martin Thursday night.
Looks like Lewis needs a tight end. Lewis, talk to me, buddy.
Charles Clay's available.
So is Jimmy Graham. I mean, all you have to give up is Des Bryant. We'll figure it out, man. We'll work out the details. He's on your bench anyways.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham put up 2 out of the 4 weeks with 0 points.
Lewis currently has Des Bryant on his bench and Pierre Garçon and Frank Gore in his lineup.
Wow. If he plays that...
I mean, he's playing Scott, so who cares?
Scott's
going to score 50 points.
I get benching Crabtree. He didn't play last week, but if he benches Des Bryant and plays both Garçon and Gore, I'll write him right down right now. Fantasy coaching stud of the week.
Stud or dud right away. You want to be 0, you want to be a hero.
Man, Lewis just needs to change his team name to set a big ball for doing that. Maybe he's doing psychological, trying to hey, Scott, I'm going to play these 2 duds. So Scott's not I'm just going to play these guys. Well, Scott doesn't really have a choice on who
Scott's
to play.
got the fresh Doug Martin in. Don't know whether he's starting, don't know whether he's backing up, but it's definitely going to be a timeshare.
Muscle Hamster's going to carry that team.
Hey, I hope they stack the box and he just chucks it to Mike Evans all day long. Scott putting a lot of faith in the Tampa Bay offense. I'm gonna give this week to Scott just because I can't reward benching Des Bryant for Frank Gore. I mean,
I get what he's doing. You take the safe points. You take the safe points.
This is like kicking a field goal when you really want to go for a touchdown from the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
You punch that in. Worst case scenario is your opponent's going to be on the 1.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to Adam. Wherefore art thou Romo? Yuck. And Evan's Golden Tater Tot Grams.
Adam currently does not have a quarterback on his team who's playing this week.
It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Adam,
you may need a quarterback.
I may pick up Deshaun Watson.
I mean, quarterbacks are your highest point. I mean, why wouldn't you pick up a quarterback last week, knowing you're gonna need one this week?
Yeah.
Take a stab at it. I mean, you don't need Theo Riddick on your bench or Shane Vereen on your bench. What's Shane Vereen done this year? Wow, 9, 10, 12 points total. I would have never guessed that.
Total. 12 points total.
I mean, why not? I mean,
he's got 2 Washington tight ends on buys on their week.
I got why he picked up Vernon Davis, because they're saying Jordan Reed might not play in Monday night. You need to have that. But, I mean, you need a backup quarterback. Why do you need a backup Vereen or Riddick? I mean, do you think those guys are going to...
I don't know. When does he throw Tart Cohen into his starting lineup? That guy's... People love him.
People do love him. Trubisky's back. He's going to light that team on fire. He may be a hot commodity.
Who knows?
Let's see what Evan has. Russell Wilson, Bell, Hunt, Evans, Landry, Jimmy Graham.
On paper, those are good first 4, and then everybody else just comes out.
But that's all you need. You need those. You need your 3 big guys to have good games, and you need the rest to just put up solid points. You put up solid 5 to 10 points, you're gonna get your points. And that's what all those guys do. Landry and Tate are solid 10 points.
Sterling Shepard might get some play this week. He might get play.
You can take him out of the box?
I might. Take him out of the block, see how he handles.
Let me ask you this. Russell Wilson at the Rams, who've shown that they've had a good defense and a bad defense, depending on the day.
They're competent.
But they kind of play to the other team. So, like, if the other team has a bad defense, then they have a bad defense. If the other team has a good defense, they have a good defense. It'd be very interesting how
I don't know. Seattle travels well.
So you got...
And LA is still kind of a new market and not really...
They don't have any home field advantage.
Exactly.
It's all the other teams.
So I'm chalking this up as almost like a home game for Russell Wilson.
So Russell Wilson at home against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Eli Manning, who you said was at home against the team crossing the country. You predicted 400 yards. Or Dak Prescott home against the Packers, which haven't had the best. Are you flipping a 3-headed coin?
I'm rolling a die.
You wanna do it right now? See who you play?
I think my team. I don't know which one I'm going to go with for sure. It's going to take some definite evaluation. Maybe wait and see what Matthew Berry's love-hate comes out with.
Adam's playing a quarterback off the waiver wire. Remember the quarterbacks we talked about earlier? Those are one of the quarterbacks he's playing.
I'm nervous he might get Deshaun Watson.
Would you trade him this week? You really you just said you wanted AJ Green or Odell Beckham Jr. Would you trade him, Eli Manning? Would you do an Eli Manning and Jarvis Landry for Odell Beckham Jr.?
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
The week you play him.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have Odell going against him. I would do that.
What?
I would do that because I know that every touchdown Odell Beckham's going to get, Eli's going to throw it.
I just realized this. Looking at your team,
Ingram and Sterling
you would have all of the receivers for the Giants. Whoever has Brandon Marshall would make you just give them to you, probably.
I think
Jeff would just give you Brandon Marshall, so you have all the Giant receivers. Yeah. So, let me ask. So, AJ Green, what did you do for AJ Green? Eli
and Jarvis Landry for AJ Green. Oh gosh,
He would have Eli and Odell.
I think he would have to sweeten the deal a little bit.
Tarek Cohen?
Drew Brees.
Oh, come on. How about lunch at MCL?
Tart Cohen.
Lunch at MCL and you do it in a heartbeat.
If he threw in Tart Cohen, I would probably do it.
Even with the week you're playing him.
Tart Cohen and AJ Green.
Adam, if you're listening to this, are we live?
You're welcome.
Are we live right now? We're not live yet.
Adam,
if you listen to this, you're welcome. It has worked out a deal for you. You're welcome. You just got Eli Manning. It's better than any of those bums on the waiver wire.
Or you could have Dak from your boys.
Oh, don't do that.
Dak from your boys.
I think that's a pretty easy. I think you're gonna roll him this week. Roll him.
Adam?
Yeah, I think you're gonna beat him.
I don't know.
Gonna beat him.
I just hope he doesn't change his lineup at all and he just keeps his no quarterback in there.
Well, let's go to the next game. Jeff Whitcomb victorious money against Evan Baker's Island of IRs. Greatest name of the season so far.
Jeff, other team that does not have a quarterback.
Trevor Siemian and
Kirk
Cousins on a bye. At least he has two quarterbacks. I mean, props to Jeff for thinking about that.
Yes.
Just both of them on the same bye. So there's going to be fight. So think of this.
He's also starting Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith? Is that Torrey Smith from Philadelphia?
Yeah. So he's got Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy in there. Torrey Smith, Keenan Allen, and Duke Johnson. Michael Thomas is on a bye. Jeremy Maclin, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Tarkandrick West. Yuck. You're playing Torrey Smith.
You're playing Torrey Smith.
Okay, let's look at the waiver again, waiver order. Who's got the better order? Jeff's number 7 and Adam's number 4.
Ooh.
So Adam goes after Deshaun Watson. Who does Jeff take? Oh, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, should have thought. So, you should. Here's what you do, Jeff. Hey, Adam's looking to trade for Eli Manning. You want to make a trade first?
I don't know if Jeff's really got.
What do you mean Jeff doesn't have it?
I think Jeff would have to come off of LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
For me to be interested.
Really? You need LaShawn McCoy, Kareem Hunt, and Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. You need an upgrade at receiver. You need Michael Thomas.
No. He's not a buy.
So?
I would take a serious long look at Rob Gronkowski. I would break my New England rule for him.
I bet you'd look him up and down and oogle him all over and be like, "Ooh, Robin, like to see a little Gronkadonk action."
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but
let's
make a deal. He plays Thursday.
So this is an interesting matchup because Jeff could be playing a white quarterback off the waiver wire. He's playing Torrey Smith and Duke Johnson. By no means are those locks to give you 10 points. So he's playing Nate. 0-4, the only winless team in the league, who's got Matt Stafford, DeMarco Murray, LeGarrette Blount, Devontae Adams may not play, Thielen, Delaney Walker, Deshaun Jackson. He benched Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh. Did that just happen?
Yeah. I don't know.
I think it just happened. I think he just benched. Maybe he's listening. So, does Nate get a first win?
Pull his first W? He won't go all year without getting a W, right?
He's got to beat someone. I was just glad it wasn't me that lost to him.
I know. Jeff is in a no-win situation right now. Because if he wins this game, he was supposed to win this game. If he loses this game...
I think this game hinges on if Matt Stafford goes nuts. Like, if he throws 4 touchdowns, I think Nate could take this. But... This is gonna be a game that's gonna go like 130 to 120, and we're all gonna be like, "What the heck?
Yeah.
How did they
Nate's
square
gonna
me
put
points?
up 120 points and still lose, and he's gonna be frustrated.
I need to think of a trophy for him. I need to update some trophies. I forgot about those.
Yeah, have we done trophies this year?
I did trophies like the first 2 weeks, and I kind of forgot the last couple. I need to update them. I need to think of some new ones too. I'm gonna give Nate the benefit of the doubt this week. I'm gonna say he's gonna get his first win. It depends on what Jeff does, but I'm gonna give, as of right now, Nate gets the nod.
That's fair. Yeah, you know what? I'm rooting for you, Nate.
I'm rooting for you too, Nate, especially this week since I beat you last week, and you only put up 59 points on me. So that's all of it, right? Those are all 5 matchups.
Did we talk about yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna lose. I'm playing Alex Collins this week. Alex Collins.
The Mark Hostetler infirmary of inaction.
My season last week, I was confident. I thought I had some good depth. I thought I had players that could get me to the end maybe, and I just needed some good breaks, but caught 2 bad ones last week. Two bad breaks.
Two bad breaks.
I think
they were right below the knee, yeah. Oh, boy.
Well, there's always, I'm always hoping, there's always another break on someone's team that I could scoop up their backup. I'm just going to pick up everybody's backups.
That is also a strategy.
I'm just going to have all backup running backs on my bench.
Well, anything else you got on your list here?
No, that was all I got. Want to thank everybody for listening. Keep subscribing if you like the podcast, and You want to see it
right.
continue?
We want to climb in the fantasy football podcast rankings.
We need to boost our numbers. So if you have some kids that you want to share a podcast with, so that our numbers climb, go right ahead. We appreciate it. So with that, we may have a surprise podcast later on. We've talked about it. So be on the lookout for another one. But as of right now, that's all we got. So everybody have a great week, and don't forget to set your lineups.
That's right, and we leave you in honor of the great Tom Petty. Let's see if we can send him out in style.
Where'd he go?
I think he's free falling somewhere, 6 feet down.
Ooh,
Yikes!
too soon.
Hey, Mark, you know what he'd be doing if he were still alive?
Scratching the hell out of that box. You probably wonder why he's on that table.
Classic. All right, everybody have a good week.
She's a good girl. She's crazy about Elvis. Loves school.